Okay, we're going to move on to bag E now. Step 4 of, what was that other bag? D. Yeah, bag D. That's up here at the top. That's with the battery brace, the cradle, battery cradle. But now we're on to step 1, 2, and 3 of the front end. I don't know if you can get a good look at it there, but that's where we're at. That'd be bag E. I'm pretty sure it's bag E. My bag did not have a label on it, but all the parts match up. And there was an E1 and an E2 in there, so I'm assuming this is bag E. That's what we're calling it. Good thing they got pictures on this thing. So we're going to put this thing on, because that's what it says to do. And then we're going to put be able to put the diff gear box in. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here or not, but we're going to do this part right here. Try to do this quickly. A lot of this stuff here is just pretty obvious common sense stuff. Anybody can do it just by looking at the directions, but we're going to try to cover as much as we can on here. There's absolutely nothing tricky to this. We're not going to do anything fancy. No shimming, no cleaning. The only thing we're going to worry about is when we go to put the front aluminum hinge pin brace on. We're going to have a little bit of concern there, and I'll show you what to do with that. It's worked pretty good for me anyway. It's right here. I'm going to drop this lock nut in there. Well, I'm going to try to drop that lock nut in there. There we go. It's in. I'm just going to kind of hold it down with a finger there. We'll take this longer screw. Those other two were 3/8, by the way, and this one here I believe is a 5/8, but I'm going to double check that. It is a 7/16 screw. In the back of the manual, it has all the sizes back there. You can match them up if you're not sure yourself. Just crank it down. It's a lock nut, so you don't have to put any blue Loctite or anything like that on it. It'll hold just fine. Now we get to put the front gearbox in there, and that is the one with the long dog bone. By the way, I did go ahead and put that on there, them booties, little Durango booties. That's going to keep a lot of dirt and dust out of there, I hope, if it lasts. It looks like it's going to last pretty good. It fit real good, nice and snug. So we'll get that right there on. Got good clearance. Then we're going to take some 3/8 flange screws here. Well, she's coming together pretty good, ain't she? We'll be racing this baby in no time. We'll be going fast and trying not to crash. Nothing to it. Put the screws in there, snug them up. You gotta be careful about over tightening this plastic stuff, by the way. You don't want to crank her down too hard. You just want to get it just tight and leave her at that, because you can strip that plastic. And if you have to get in and out of there a whole lot, over tightening it, it'll just wear it out quicker. There's that. Now, front A-arms. Your shock goes in here, of course, your lower shock eyelet. It's going to go in this outer hole. So you want this to the front. It's pretty snug. Once this wears out some, you can actually shim it if you want. But when the kit's new, there's just no reason for it. It's nice and snug. It's one thing I like about a new kit. Thing just fresh, new. That one's not real free, but it's not real bad either. I guarantee you, after a good practice night, that thing will be flopping around like a wing on a bird. Get this side done. Nothing to it. Just force it in there a little bit. Shouldn't have to force it too much though. Ooh, look at that one. That one's real good. Well, maybe not. Now it's tight. I got it in there all the way. But it ain't bad. Once you get to running it, man, that thing just be flopping all over the place. Now this part is where the red flag comes in sometimes. The protruding area on this faces outward like this. Covers up your hinge pin. But a lot of times they get the paint in there and you gotta force the screw in there. So what I do is I screw it in until it's real tight, and then I back it out. Then I screw it back in, and I just keep doing that until I get it all the way in. This one here just went right on. Gotta love that. See this one here. Look at that. Made a liar out of me. Maybe they got it together. This one just doesn't seem to be overpainted, I guess. So we're just going to pop that on over the hinge pin. Then we're going to set these in there so that the hinge pin can't come out. I almost have to wonder why they even have this, because 9 times out of 10 you got to pull this whole brace off to change the hinge pin anyway. It's the only way you can get a hold of it without, well, you can push through the back with a small wrench, small L bracket wrench. But it's the way they make it. But you got to pull the bumper off, front bumper off, to get to it and everything. So now we got that, we can move on to the shock tower. Hold the joy. We get to put some carbon fiber on here. Let me find some carbon fiber. I know I got some in here somewhere. There she is. Front shock tire. Big old thick one. Big old thick one. Look at that. She's coming together, boys. We're going racing. We'll just run these in there. A lot of times I think we need longer screws in this lower part, but I never have no problem with them popping out or stripping out when I hit stuff, probably because that top brace holds most of the force whenever you crash. But these screws just seem kind of short, but I ain't had no trouble yet. I've had a bunch of these. There's that, just snug those up. Shock tires on. Oh, look at that, that's already getting free. That one's free too, look at that, just by moving it back and forth and getting that hinge pin. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Put the bumper on. And it'll be time to move on to the rear of the car. There's really nothing to this part. Probably a waste of time to even do a video on it, but at least you kind of just get a good standard procedure of how it works. Nothing fancy, nothing too intimidating. Just put her together. You can almost go by the pictures. No red flags anywhere other than the front hinge pin brace. That ain't no big deal. Okay. We're going to put the standoffs on for the shocks. And we're going to need a little blue Loctite for that. Oop, that's red. Don't want to get that confused, do we? Never get that thing off if we had to. We're going to go to the middle hole. That's the hole I always use. I've played around with them other holes, but I don't like them. Ain't had much luck with them. On a real bumpy track, I'll sometimes run the inner lower. But even then, I don't usually do it. I just leave it box stock on the front shocks almost 9 out of 10 times. I very rarely ever mess with it. Let's put a little blue Loctite on there. Don't need much. I use my little boy, I've had this wrench a long time, my crossbar wrench. Let's use that. It'll hold on better. It's got a deeper socket to snug her up. Nothing to it. Look at there. Got some blue. Got a little more blue on there. Oh yeah. We're almost there. We're getting there, man. Alright. There's the page 8 front end build. Step 3 of page 9. On the front end, that's bag E. And we're going to get set up and do the rest of page 9 on the rear. And it looks like that's going to carry us on over. Nope, that'll be the end of it. Page 9, there's only 2 steps on the back, on the rear. So, I'll be back.